Hello and welcome to Pabbly. So today in this video, we are going to discuss the top 10 Typeform automations that you can set up with Pabbly Connect. So we all know Typeform is one of the most popular online form building applications. And if you're using Typeform to get the details or the responses from the user, there are a lot of things that you can automate. You can actually automate the process of creating a WordPress post directly from the Typeform submission. Also, you can automate the process of creating a Zendesk ticket. For example, you have created a support request or an issue request form and added into your website or shared it with your users that whenever the user enters the details or the issue, then automatically with the same details, a Zendesk ticket can be created. Also, you can use this form to generate some lead and automatically add the responses from Typeform to your CRM application like HubSpot CRM. You can automate the process of creating some new deals in Pipedrive, but not just this. You can also add the Typeform responses or the user who are entering the details as a contact in Google Contact. So the possibilities of automation are endless over here. And not just these automation ideas, we are going to get the top 10 automation ideas that you can set up with the help of Typeform and Pabbly Connect. So without any further delay, let's start with this complete guide and understand in a step-by-step manner that how you can set up all 10 of these automations all by yourself.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create Google Contacts from Typeform responses. So here is no worry to create again and again Google Contacts because you can just create a form using the form builder application Typeform, and every time the form is built, you will get a new Google Contact created automatically using this automation that you will be creating using Pabbly Connect. In this automation, our trigger will be the submission received from the Typeform and our action will be creating a contact in Google Contacts. Let us learn how to do that. So let us create this integration that every time you want a new Google Contact to be added, what you can do is just share the link of this Typeform that I have created, or you can create your own form and then like this, publishing. And once you publish, it will give you a link, open the link in a new tab, and then whosoever fills up the form, that contact will be automatically added in your Google Contact. And this can be done by creating an automation. So let us quickly sign in into our automation software, that is Pabbly, so that I will reach this place where I can see all the applications provided to you by Pabbly. And we are going to use Pabbly Connect that's given over here. Click on Access Now, and then you will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Reaching here, you can see a big blue button on your right side where it's written Create Workflow. Click on the button and give a suitable name to your workflow. I'm going to name it as Create Google Contacts from Typeform responses. Click on Create and then a blank workflow will be created for you. Here you can see trigger and action, two windows. Trigger says when this happens and action says do this, which means that whenever a trigger will take place in this specific application, it will make sure that the action application performs the assigned action. Like here, our trigger is going to be Typeform, because once the form will be filled, so the form filling and the submission of the form is going to be the trigger event, that is new entry of the form, and the action will be Google Contacts and the event will be to create a new Google Contact. So first of all, connect Typeform and Pabbly Connect so that Pabbly Connect receives the information of every form that will be submitted. So click on Add New Connection. Connect with Typeform, it will automatically detect your Typeform account. You just have to click on Accept to give access to Pabbly Connect. Once this is done, authorization is successful, and then you will receive here the list of all the forms that you might have created in your Typeform account. I am going to use request form. It is already selected, but if you click on the drop down menu, you will get the list of all the forms. Request form is the form that will be filled for this specific workflow. Click on Save and Send Test Request. It will start waiting for a response. So you just have to go back to this place where you have opened the form link and then fill in the details. Like I'm going to fill my name over here. This is my name, the birth date, so the month and date, and then year is the format. So the month is 12th, the date is 11, and the year is this. This is the birth date. Okay, email address. Then we have the address. Okay, this is the address and the contact number. This is my contact number. I'll click on submit and the form has been submitted now. When I go back to Pabbly Connect, you see that we have received a response. First of all, the name of the form is here, address, email address. So all the questions will appear first, and then we have contact number, address, email address, the birth date, and the name of the contact, which means that we have received the Typeform entry successfully. Now we need to add one step over here between the trigger and action step that is going to split the birth date into 3 different parts, that is month, date and year, because that is how Google Contact needs it. So we will choose our first action application as text formatter. Now text formatter is a feature that is built inside Pabbly itself. The event over here is going to be split text because we are going to separate. Connection is not a difficult task because it is built inside Pabbly, so it will automatically connect. Now we just need to map the text that we need to split. So you click on the blank space and it will ask you to insert data from the previous step. Here they have given you the drop down menu for all the responses you have received in your previous step, that is Typeform, new entry. So you will just search from here, either you scroll down to the end, or what you can do is write in this search and map data, like this was the year, so yeah, here we have the date. In the search and map data, you can type any hint of the content you are looking for. So this one you want to split, the separator is going to be the hyphen between all of these because year, month and date are separated with the hyphen. So I will put hyphen as the separator, and I want what segment? I want all the segments. I want the year, month, date, all segments of the splitted text. Click on save and send test request and the response will be very clear. Year, month and date is separated. So this is how we will be needing it. Close this window and then click on this plus button in the end to add the next and the final action step. That is going to be your Google Contacts. So type your action application as Google Contacts over here. As I told you, the event is going to be to create a contact. Click on connect and then add new connection. Now sign in with your Google account in order to connect Google Contacts and Pabbly Connect. Choose your Google account, click on allow, that's how you give access, and then the authorization will be successful. Once this is done, you can see it says connected. Now you have to fill in the details like a general creation of contact that you do in your Google Contacts. But this time you are going to do it just for this one specific time. So in email addresses, you will put the email address. So as I told you, search and map data, I just wrote @ and here is the email address. Then you have the display name, family name, given name. So you will give the name in the given name over here. So what was the name? This was the name. You mapped the name over here. Then we have the address. So address formatted values. So if you would have entered the address in different sections, you would have used commas, but we have address at one single place. So I will just write like this. Yeah, here we have the complete address over here. Then you scroll down for your field. Yeah, birth year, birth month and birthday. See, I told you. So in year, you're going to map it from the text formatter. This is the year. What was the month? The month was 12. And then the day, so the day was 11. So that's how we have split it and used the birth date. Next we have the gender, but we did not specify any gender. So how can you guarantee which is the gender of this contact? So what you're going to do is you can map this over here, and then when it is mapped, so you can erase this part. The good part is that it does not ask you any required field, so you can just leave it open, not specific or not important to mention the gender. Now it's time for phone number. So you're going to map the phone number from here. So this was the phone number. And I guess we are done with all the important details that are required to create a contact. Now we will simply click on save and send test request and wait for the response from Google Contacts to a contact be created. And here we have received the response. It shows no error, which means that there is no problem in our workflow. Our contact has been created. Once this is done, you can close this step of action application, that is Google Contacts over here, and then we'll go back to your Google Contacts. What you can do is just refresh it once, and here we have the contact, the name, the email address and the phone number. If you open this contact, you will see the address, and here we have the birthday as well, which means that the contact has been created successfully. Now every time a person you have shared this link with is going to fill the form, a contact will automatically be created. So there is no need to create another contact. Just remember that when you create this workflow, you split the text using the text formatter by Pabbly. So this was the whole workflow. I hope this helped.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create WordPress post from new Typeform responses. So if you have created a form using the form builder application Typeform and all the responses that you have been receiving, you want to use them to create a WordPress post, then don't do it again and again manually, but in fact you can create an automation with the help of Pabbly Connect. In this integration, our trigger will be the response received from Typeform and our action will be to create a post in WordPress. Let us learn how to do that.
So if you want to create a post in your WordPress website using any form submission, so this time we are going to learn to create automation with the help of Pabbly, where we can integrate our Typeform and our WordPress in such a way that I have created this specific form over here, and we will be filling this form, and the entry from this form will reach WordPress as a newly created post. So let us quickly sign in into our Pabbly account, so that I will reach this place where I can see all the applications provided by Pabbly. We are going to use Pabbly Connect for this automation. Let us create an access now. And then you will see a big blue button on your right side where it's written Create Workflow on the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Click on the button and give a suitable name to your workflow. Create WordPress post from Typeform entries. Click on Create, and then a blank workflow will be created for you right here. You can see on your screen a trigger and action boxes over here. The trigger says when this happens and action says do this. So whichever is going to be your trigger application, an event will take place in that application that will be called the trigger. And once it triggers the application, action application will make sure to perform the assigned action. For this workflow, our trigger application is Typeform, because once the form is submitted, and then the action application will be WordPress, where the post will be created. So the event is going to be new entry. If you have opened your Typeform account right here like this, so Pabbly Connect will automatically detect. You just have to give access by clicking on Connect, then add new connection, connect with Typeform, and then it will automatically detect. Just click on Accept. This is how you give access to Pabbly Connect to capture the responses received from that specific form. Now you have to select the form. There might be many forms created, like you can see over here, the list is here. My form is the form I am right now working upon. Now I will click on Save and Send Test Request, but before that, let us quickly copy the link of this form and then paste it in a new tab so that you are able to fill up the form. This is the link. I have copied it, and now I will paste it. See, this is the form that has opened. Let us click on Save and Send Test Request and then go to the form and fill the form. I'm going to fill it with the name Demo User. My reason is, this is my reason of this query, and the query is and this is my query that I have explained over here. Click on OK, and then I have to enter my email address, and this is my email address. As soon as I click on Submit, I have submitted this form. I'll go to Pabbly Connect and wait for the response like this. And here you can see right in front of you, we have received the response. In the response, you will be having all the details, like see, this is the description that we wrote. This is the email address. Then we have the title also, and the name of the person also, which means that response from the trigger application has been captured. Now it's turn for the action application to perform the assigned action. So the application is WordPress, and the event is to create a post. Click on Connect, and then add new connection. Now you have to enter the WordPress username or email address, whichever you want, WordPress password and base URL. Now for 2 minutes, we just have to ignore base URL because we have to first enter the username and password. So let us do that. This is my username and the password is. Now we come to base URL. So what is this base URL? It is this part of the URL. Like this is your WordPress account. So you have to enter from HTTPS to WP3 and not include admin or login if you had that. Okay, so you have to read this instruction given over here and accordingly copy it. So let us copy it till WP3 copied, and now we'll paste it right here. Once this is done, click on Save, and the accounts are connected. Now you have to select the post type, the title, content, which means the general details that are you supposed to fill whenever you are creating a post. So you are doing it in the form of this workflow. So what is it? It is a type of post that you want to create. Then what is the title? The title is the query. So what was the title of the query? This was it. Okay, you can also write by a small hyphen and then give the name also. So right here we can write it in the search and map data to search for the data that you're looking for rather than going through the list of all the content. Now, what is the post content? So this is the list where you are given all the responses that you have received from your trigger application. Either you can scroll like this, like you have found by scrolling. But if it is a very long list, you can just simply type in the search and map data and you will get to your content that you're looking for. Nothing else is required. Status is published. Yes, it has to be published. The ping status is open. Comment status is also open. If you want to change the author, I have changed it to the admin. Once this is done, just go to click save and send test request and wait for the response from WordPress. WordPress usually takes 2-3 more minutes as compared to other applications. So you have to give it a little more time. And here we have the response. See, you can see these are the links to the post that has been created using the details that we just entered. Save this part. And then we will go to our WordPress to check if we have created a post or not. All post from post in the left side panel and see expired products over here we have. It's public, admin, and it's published right now, which means that our workflow has been a success. So our trigger application was Typeform. We created a form and filled the form. So the details of the submission of the form were used to create a WordPress post. Now every time a new person or a new registration is done through this form, then you don't have to create a post for that form entry separately. It will be automatically done once this workflow has been set up. So this was the whole video. I hope this helped.
In this video, I'll show you how to invite Heartbeat users on Typeform form submissions automatically. So as you all know, using Heartbeat application, one can create a perfect online community, and assume that you have also created an online community with your users, and you want that whenever any user submitted the form, then only the invitation of that community should get sent automatically. So I'm going to do that by simply setting an automation in between Typeform and Heartbeat. So what will happen? Every time the user submit the form, the invitation will get sent automatically via Heartbeat. And if you also want to automate your user onboarding process with the help of automation, come with me and I will show you the whole process step by step. So this is my Typeform form builder software, and to automate this process, I'll have to build an integration in Typeform and Heartbeat, and I am going to do that with the Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing integration and automation software, and I am already an existing user of Pabbly Connect. This is the dashboard in which I am already logged in. You can also create your free account in just 2 minutes from this button, okay? And in the free account, you will also get free tasks to test this automation. Now click on this create workflow button and provide any random name to your workflow, to your automation. Okay, so I'm providing the name something like automatically send invitation to form submitter to join the community. Okay, now click on create, and then you will find 2 boxes in front of you. Okay, so these are actually trigger and action. Okay, so trigger means when this happens, action means do this. Whenever this happens, automatically do this. Understand with an example also. Whenever a sale happen in a payment gateway application, assume that whenever a sale happen in a payment gateway application, then automatically send an email via Gmail application. Okay, according to our use case, whenever any user submitted this Typeform form builder application, then automatically send an invitation via Heartbeat application. Okay, so this is how you need to always select the applications in which you are building an automation. In this case, I'm creating this automation with the Typeform form builder software. In place of this form builder, you can use other form builder software as well. Okay, now I want that whenever any new entry is made in Typeform, the details should be collected into Pabbly Connect. For that, I'll have to connect a Typeform with the Pabbly Connect. So simply click on this button, that is connect with Typeform, and you'll have to provide the access of your Typeform application. Well, I am already logged in into a different app, so instead of asking me for the access, it is asking me for the permission, and once I have provided the permission, the authorization is successful and Typeform is now successfully connected with the Pabbly Connect. And since we are connected, here you can see whatever the forms are available inside my Typeform account have started visible here, and I want that whenever the user submitted this form to join community, this particular form, the details should be captured here. Okay, so I have clicked on this button, and here you can see it has started waiting for the response, which means once you have clicked over the save and send test request button, do a test submission and record in that application in order to capture the response here, which means basically it is asking to do a test submission or record. And here the test submission or record means making of a new entry into this Typeform. Okay, now here you can see I have already selected this form to join community. Let me open the view link of this particular form, and then I am going to fill this form with some dummy details, and you will see how the details of this form will be captured via Pabbly Connect. Okay, so I have opened this form, and here you can see it is actually waiting for the response. Let me submit the form. Assume that the name of the person is dummy user. Here I will be adding the email address. I've also provided the email address, but this email address is not a fake email address, it is the genuine one, and adding the dummy phone number. Alright, so I think I have provided all the important details. Let me click on the submit button, and the form submission is done, and here you can see the response is also received inside Pabbly Connect. Let me show you other details. Here we have the submission date and time. Here we have the name of the form. Let me show you other details. Alright, so here you can see the phone number is here, the email address is here, and we have collected all the details. Okay, so presence of this data clearly shows that the connection in between Typeform and Pabbly Connect is working absolutely fine. Now I would like to send an invitation to this form submitter via Heartbeat. So in the action event, I will be selecting send invitation to the user, and just like we have connected Typeform with Pabbly Connect, now I am going to connect Heartbeat with Pabbly Connect, for which it is asking for the token. Okay, so you will have to read the instruction that how you can get the token. Simply click on your profile section, and here you will find an option of API key. Okay, click on this API keys, and here exactly the API key is visible, is available. Okay, so I have copied the same. Let me paste the same, click on save, and this is how the Heartbeat application will be connected. Now it is asking that how you would like to send this invitation. So basically I would like to invite these people as a user of my community, so I'll be selecting the same and asking for the email address. So here I'll have to provide the email address of that form submitter, and I have already received the data of that form submitter. And don't worry, I don't need to manually copy the email address and paste it here, because I want that this automation should execute automatically in real time. Okay, so for that I'll have to provide the data with the help of mapping, and mapping is very simple. Click on this particular field and you will find the above data here in the drop down. Simply search for your data. Here I am searching for that email address. Alright, so I have successfully mapped the email address of that form submitter. Okay, now what will happen, since I have mapped this data, every time someone is going to submit the form, the email address will be replaced automatically when this automation will work in real time. Let me finally click on this button, save and send test request, and here you can see the response is received. Let me check my Gmail account, and here you can see I have received the welcome email, basically the invitation email. Okay, so this is the most recent email I have received. Let me show you the details. That is 0 minutes ago. Okay, so hey, you have been invited to join this PabCon. Okay, so PabCon is the name of my community, and from here exactly now user can finally join that community. Okay, so this is how you can automate the process of user onboarding by simply creating a Typeform form, and by simply connecting this form with the Heartbeat application with the help of Pabbly Connect. And to automate this process, you do not have to do anything manually again and again. You need to create this automation inside Pabbly Connect just once. After that, you can simply close Pabbly Connect, sit back and relax, because Pabbly Connect will take care of all the tasks in the backend. You do not have to do anything manually. And just in case if you want to access this automation inside your Pabbly Connect account, I will also attach the shareable link of this workflow into the description box. You just need to click on this link and sign up into the Pabbly Connect, and then you will be able to access this workflow, this automation inside your Pabbly Connect account, that too for free.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to add new Typeform entries as detailed Google Calendar events. Whenever you are getting an entry in your Typeform, that is a new submission, you want that it should be added as a new Google Calendar event and created an event. So we will be creating an automation with the help of Pabbly Connect, where our trigger will be the new submission done in Typeform, and our action will be to create that event in Google Calendar. Let us learn how to do it.
So let us create an integration where any appointment information received from this Typeform that I have opened up over here in a separate tab, is going to be used to create a new event in your Google Calendar. So we will create this automation with the help of Pabbly. And here is the landing page. Let us quickly sign in into your account. I'll sign in with Google as I already have an existing account. And then we are going to use Pabbly Connect for this purpose. So let us click on Access now. Now, as soon as you reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, here on the right side, you will see a big blue button where it's written Create Workflow. Click on the button and then give a suitable name to your workflow. I'm going to name it as Create Detailed Events in Google Calendar from Typeform Entries. So the case is that whenever you have to take an appointment, suppose that you have to fill up this form that we will be filling soon over here, and when you're done with taking the appointment and this form is submitted, then in the Google Calendar, that appointment will be created as a new event that is going to take place. So when you have given the name to your workflow, a blank workflow will be created for you. Over here, you have trigger and the other box is action. Now the trigger and action is when this happens, do this, which means that as soon as this event takes place in your trigger application, the action application will perform the assigned action over here. So for this workflow, our trigger application is Typeform because the entries received from the Typeform submission are going to be used for the creation of event. So we have chosen the event as new entry of the form. Click on Connect, add new connection, and then connect with Typeform. This connection will make sure that all the form submissions are captured by Pabbly Connect over here and they are received in this workflow. So that's how you give access, and it's here. So now you have to select the name of the form. In your Typeform, there might be many forms that you have created for several different purposes. When you click on this drop down menu, you have to choose the form. So as you can see, the name of our form is appointment. So I will choose appointment over here. And when I click on save and send test request, I have to go back here and fill up this form so that the information is fetched by Pabbly Connect. So let us type over here, first name, last name, mobile number, email address, and then the time of availability. Now, the time that you are going to enter over here has to be in the format hour, minute, and second. For example, that I want the appointment at 10 in the morning. Okay, so it will be 10:00:00. Okay, that's 10 o'clock. That's my time of availability. And then I have to mention the date of availability. First, you have to enter the month. So the month is going to be March. Then the day is going to be 27th. And then the year, that's this. Okay, so now you have submitted the form. When the submission is done, you go back to Pabbly Connect and wait for the response. And see, the response is over here. So the name of the form is appointment, first of all. Then you have the date of availability. All the questions are listed first. Then you'll start having the answers as well. So you have the answers as this is the date of availability, the time, the email address, this is the email, the phone number. So basically you have all the details and the first and last name as well. So let us use this information to create a new event. But first of all, remember that you are going to enter this information in a Google Calendar, which means a calendar, a basic format of date and time. So you need to make sure that the Google Calendar has the format where what it needs the date and time in. So first let us choose Google Calendar as your action application over here. So it will be easier for you to understand what steps are you going to include in this workflow. It's create an event. The event is this. Add new connection and sign in with your Google account. Once you do this, click on allow. Then you have to check that what is the format of the start and end date time required over here. So this is the format it's needed, like year, month and date, time, T for time, and then hour, minute, second, and Z. This is the format of the date and time. So let us put another step between the trigger and the action application. That is called date and time formatter, because we need to combine the date and time we already have over here. So let us change the time zone first. Okay, we are going to do that. Connect date and time formatter is a feature built inside Pabbly, so it will be connected automatically. Now you have to enter the date that you want to format right here. So first you have to map it. Now what is mapping? Mapping is actually using the information of the previous step to enter data in the next step or any action application. So when you click on any empty field, it will ask you to insert data from the previous step, and this drop down menu will help you to enter the data. So our date was this. Okay, this is the date. Then you put capital T and then you put the time. So you can also write time over here. So this was the time. Okay, you have entered it in the format that it is required. Now what is the format right now? It is year, month, date. It's like that only. Then time, hour, minute, second. Okay, and put a Z in the end as well. So this is done. This is the format, and from Asia Kolkata time zone, you are changing it to UTC. Okay. Now we will click on save and send test request. So our date will be available in the format that is required. 27th is the date, and this is the time that has been changed into the UTC format now. Okay. So save this step. And then we'll move on to another step, that is the end date time. For example, the appointment is of 1 hour. So we want to add 1 hour to the date we already have. So we will again choose date time formatter, and it gives us a feature to add and subtract time. Connect your feature and then enter the date. So now you're going to use this date. Okay. The expression is plus 1 hour. Okay. And then from what format to what format you want to change. So its format is with T and Z in the end. So you have to choose both times the same format. Okay. Now click on save and send test request, and 1 hour is written. So it will add 1 hour to it. It says 4 hour in the first step, 4:30. Okay. Now it says 5:30 in the next step. So 1 hour has been added. So we will click on save over here. Okay. Then now it's safe to move ahead. So come back to your last action application, that is Google Calendar. Connect it again so it is reloaded. You can select existing connection because we just connected our account. Click on save, and then you can choose all the details. Like this is the email address of the Google Calendar we are working upon. Then you need to have the title. So title you can map from your Typeform entry only, that is appointment. In description you can enter details like name, colon, and then enter the name. So write the name as this, give a space, and then the second name was this. Okay. Put a backslash and N, because after N, everything will appear in the next line. So we are writing email, colon, and then you can enter the email address as well. Okay, this is done. What else was there? Contact. So again, backslash and N, then write contact, colon, and then enter the number. This is the phone number. So this was the data. No location was mentioned. You have to enter the start date. For that, we included this time. So the first date time formatter was for the start time of the appointment, and the end time is the second date time formatter. Okay. Now the time zone has to be changed to UTC. Okay. And then no other thing is required to be changed. Just simply click on save and send test request and see. It's confirmed. The status is confirmed, which means the event has been created. The description will appear in this format. If you drag this down, see, name, email, and contact is given over here. So after backslash and N, everything appeared just under the previous line. So remember to put a backslash, save this step, and now we will go back to our calendar to check if the appointment has been created or not. So what was the date? It was 27th. You come here to 27. So 10 to 11, that is the time that we chose. And here see, 10 a.m. was the time, and 11 because we added 1 hour. So the appointment has been created. So this was the whole workflow. Let us do a quick recap. So our trigger application was Typeform. We filled in a form that was created for appointments, and then when we filled the form, we received this response, which was used to create an event, but we added date time formatter first of all to change the time format, and then we added 1 hour to decide the end time of the event. Okay, then we use the information to create a Google Calendar event and then gave it proper description. Remember to put a backslash and N to put enter, saved the workflow and saw that yes, an appointment has been created. So this was the whole video. I hope this helped.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create or update HubSpot contacts from new entries on Typeform. Now Typeform, that is a form builder application, and you receive form submissions on Typeform, so you want that information should be collected in HubSpot and a new contact should be created. But this cannot happen automatically because both of these applications do not have a direct connection between them. But I will tell you that we can automate this process with the help of Pabbly Connect. We will create an integration where our trigger will be a response received in our Typeform and our action will be a created contact in HubSpot. Let us learn how to do it.
So let us learn that how can you integrate or connect Typeform and HubSpot in such a way that whenever somebody fills this form that has been created by you using the form builder application Typeform, so this information will be utilized in creating a new contact in your HubSpot CRM. We will do this with the help of Pabbly. Here you can see this is the landing page of Pabbly and you can sign in to your account from the right hand side and then sign in with Google, and then you will be logged in at this account where you can see the applications provided to you to create automations by Pabbly. We are going to use Pabbly Connect to create today's automation. Click on Access Now and then you will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Reaching here, you can see a big blue button on the right hand side where it's written Create Workflow. Click on that and then give a suitable name to your workflow. I'm going to name it as Create HubSpot Contacts from Typeform Entries. Okay, click on Create. And then a blank workflow will be created for you. Like you can see on the screen, there are two boxes. One has trigger written over it and the other has action. Now what are both of these things? Trigger is when this happens and action is do this, which means that whenever a trigger takes place in your chosen application over here, then it will move ahead to the action application and an action will be performed whatever you're going to assign. So our trigger application today is Typeform because the entries that will be used to create a HubSpot contact will be taken from the submission that you will receive from Typeform. And the event is going to be a new entry, which means when Typeform will be triggered with the new entry or new submission of any form, then this workflow will proceed. Click on Connect, add new connection and connect with Typeform. It will automatically detect the presence of an account and then you just have to give access by clicking on Accept. Like we did, and see the authorization is successful. It will automatically detect forms, or you will find the whole list of the forms that you have created. Like this is the form that I am going to use and the name of my form is General Survey. So first of all, choose the form name correct. This is the form that you want to select or capture the responses for. Then publish it. Copy this link and I'm going to open this link in a new tab right here so that I can fill this form. And that entry will be captured in Pabbly Connect. So click on Save and Send Test Request. And as soon as you do that, Pabbly Connect will start waiting for a response. So you have to go to this form and fill in the details. So I'm going to fill in the details as Irene is the first name, then the last name, then the phone number, and then your email address, and the birth date of that contact. So I will be entering, remember to follow the correct format. Okay. So we have entered all the details and now we have submitted. So just come back to Pabbly Connect to check that have you received the response. It will be here in 2-3 seconds more and see the response is already here. It will have all the questions, the name of the form, then the questions, okay, the format, like please enter your email address. So the email has to be entered. First of all, it will have all the questions, then you will have the answers like the phone number is here and then we have the email address and the name of the person also is here. See. Like this, we have all the details. So which means that whatever we entered in that form was captured by Pabbly Connect right here. So now what is left? Our next step and the final destination is going to be transferring this information to HubSpot. So select your action application as HubSpot CRM, and the event will be to create a contact. Okay, the action that we have chosen over here, that is create a contact, which means that HubSpot CRM will create a contact in the account using the information that we have received from Typeform. So first of all, we will connect our HubSpot account, click on add new connection, connect with HubSpot CRM, choose your account from here, and then it will be allowed and the authorization is successful. So now your Pabbly Connect and HubSpot is also connected. So now you have to enter some of the details that you will require to create a contact. Like whenever you are here in any of the application and you create a contact, create a customer, or do any new thing, it provides you a form where you have to fill in certain details of that specific person. So in the same way, you have to fill in those details that are required by you or your case over here in your Pabbly Connect. So we will be doing that. Now remember that what all information we had in the form that we created, okay, and those informations are only supposed to be filled. So like date of birth was there, so you can map it. Now what is mapping? Mapping is actually creating a pathway between your trigger and your action step. And how are you going to do that? You actually insert the data from the previous step. Mapping is always done in the direction of up to down, which means from trigger to action step. So you have to insert the data from the previous step. Our previous step was Typeform. So now Typeform, you don't have to copy it from this response, but you will just map it. And how are we going to map it? Just open this drop down menu and you will have the details of all the information. What are you going to enter where? So whenever you click on any empty field like this, like you have to enter the date of birth. So click on this search and map data and you can enter some of the hint that will take you to the response, and see this was the date of birth. Now you come down to the field that you want to fill for your specific contact and you will find the first name. So in the case of first name, you will just enter some hint and here is the first name. Then you have the last name. Enter accordingly. This was the last name. Then we had the email address. So I'll give you a hint that just type @ and you will straight away find email address. Then we had the phone number. So enter the phone number and this is the phone number. So we have entered all important fields. Just make sure that if there is any field where required is written over it, then you have to fill that one because that will be the mandatory field. Otherwise, just click on save and send test request and a response will be received. Whenever you receive a response from your action application, always check for errors. If there is any error, so you can correct it then and there. Okay, but if it does not show any error, which means that yes, our workflow has worked properly. So first of all, save your work so that it starts working. And then we'll go back to our HubSpot and see that yes, a new contact has been created like this. This is the name, email address, phone number, and the date of birth is also here. Our workflow that is created has worked properly. So let's do a quick recap of the whole workflow. So let's close this windows. So in order to create HubSpot contacts from Typeform entries, we created an automation where our trigger application was Typeform. We created a form, filled the form, and then our response was captured over here like this. And then further, we had our action step as HubSpot CRM where we selected our action event as create a contact. Then we connected both the accounts, filled in the details, clicked on save and send test request, and again we received a response like this. Because there was no error, we clicked on save to save our workflow and checked in our HubSpot contact that yes, a response has been received like this, which means that our workflow was successful. So this was the whole video. I hope this helped.
In this video, we are going to see how to create Microsoft Outlook events from new Typeform responses. So every time a new entry has been received in Typeform, then with the response received, you want to create an event in Microsoft 365 calendar. Now, how can that be done? For this, you will have to integrate the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here, your trigger application will be Typeform and your action application would be Microsoft Office 365. Now, how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen.
To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply click on sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes. And also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in, and as I do that, here we have reached all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. And as we do that, again we have reached the dashboard. On the right hand side, you can see a tab create workflow. Let's click on this, and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now here my objective is that every time a new Typeform response has been received, then automatically with the information received, an Outlook event must be created. So I'm going to click on create. As I do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Now triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically action here is the response of your trigger application. Now as per this integration, my trigger application will be Typeform. Let's click on this. And now the trigger event, so this is the event that is going to make this workflow run. This would be new entry. Every time a new response is received, then this workflow is going to run. I'm going to click on connect, and as I do that, here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with Typeform account. So I'm going to click on add new connection, connect with Typeform. I have already logged into my Typeform account, and here we are just going to accept because it's requesting for access. So once this is done, here you can see authorization has been successful. Now as I refresh this, here you can see that it has already taken the name of the form, new event details. Let me take you to my Typeform, and here there is only one workspace, my workspace, and here I have created a form. The name is new event details. Let me show you this form. So here we have got the following fields: event name, event description, start date, end date, and then we have the contact information of the attendees. So I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect, and as I click on save and send test request, here it is asking me to do a test submission in the application in order to capture the response. So now I'm going to go back to Typeform, and here I'm going to click on publish. As I do that, here we have received a link. I'm going to copy this, open this in a new tab. So as I do that, here we can see that the form has opened right in front of us. Now first of all, the event name. So let's say the name of the event is testing 123. Okay, now what am I going to do here? I'm going to do a team meeting regarding promotions. Okay, then we have the start date. So here you can see the time has been mentioned, which is 10 a.m. So this event is going to start at 10 a.m. because here in Typeform you cannot actually mention the time apart from here, like in the description part. So let's say the month is March and the start time is 1st of March, the year is 2023. Then we have the end time, so it has been mentioned as 6 p.m. Again, I'm going to mention the date, which is 2nd March, and the year is 2023. So once this is done, now the contact information of the attendee. So I'm going to first add India here, yes, and then first name, let's say it is new, and the last name is user. Then we have the phone number. This here is the phone number. Then we have the email address, which is newyuser@pabblytudes.com. Let's say the company is Pabbly Connect. I'm going to click on submit. As soon as I do that, taking you back to Pabbly Connect, here we have received the API response. As I scroll this down, so here you would be able to see the details. So this here is the name of the company. Then we have got the phone number, the email address. Then we have the first name, last name, and here is the start date. So basically this is the due date, and this here is the start date, and this is the description. So once we have received this information, what is my objective? My objective here is to create a Microsoft Outlook event. So I'm going to choose an action application here, which is Microsoft 365. Let's click on this, and the action event here would be to create a event in calendar. Let's click on connect. Here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with Microsoft Office 365 account. I'm going to click on add new connection, connect with Microsoft Office 365, and here it is asking me to access the account. Let's click on yes. So once this is done, here we can see that the authorization has been successful. So now here we have to map this information, the calendar, subject, content type. So let me take you to my Microsoft Office 365. Here we went to Outlook, and here within Outlook we have calendar. So you can see here that I have got only one calendar created. The name is calendar itself. So it has already been taken by the system. Now the subject. So here I'm going to map the name of the event. So let's go to the previous step here. So as I take you down, so the name of the event is testing 123. Okay, this is the name of my event. So I want the subject to be the same. Then the content type is plain text. Now what is the content? Here I'm going to add the description. So as I scroll down, here is the description. Now comes the start date. So here we have to map this information in this format. So we do have the year, month and date, but we don't have the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map this information like this. First I'm going to take the start date. This here is the start date. Okay, and here I also have to mention the time. So I'm just going to write this manually because this is going to remain the same for all my events. So the start time is 10 a.m. So I'm going to write 10:00:00. Okay, this is how you have to mention the time. Next is the start time zone. So here I'm going to choose Asia Kolkata time. And then we have the end date. So again I'm going to map the end date. So this here is the end date, and now I'm going to write time, which is 6 o'clock in the evening. So I'm going to write 18:00:00. Okay, so once we have written this, now the end time zone is again Mumbai, Kolkata, Delhi, and then the reminder. So I want to send a reminder 30 minutes prior to the event. Then the importance is normal, sensitivity is normal, so you can choose as per the importance of your event. And then the location, I'm going to leave this blank. You can add the location as well. Now you have to show the attendee as free, tentative, busy, so I'm going to just write tentative. Now the name of the attendee. So the name of the attendee here was new. So this is the first name. I'm going to put a space, and then we have the user. So this is the last name. Then we have the email address. So let's look for the email address here. This is the email address. And finally the type, optional, required or resource. This is required. I'm going to click on save and send test request. Now as I do that, here we have received the API response according to which this event must be created in the calendar. Let's go to calendar, and yes, here you can see 10 a.m. testing 123. This particular event has been created, which basically means that our integration is a complete success. Now I'm going to take you back to Typeform. Let's refresh this page. And here we are going to fill in another form. So let's say the name of your event is this time team meeting. Okay, what is the description? This is regarding appraisals. Then we have the start date. So let's say it is March, and the day is 5th of March 2023. Then we have the month. Again, for the end date, it is the same, which is 5th March. Okay, 2023. Now the next thing is contact information. So let's say the name of the person here is new 123, last name is user, and then we have the phone number. First I'm going to look for the country. Here it is, and then we have the phone number. So here is the phone number. Then the email address is new123@pabblytudes.com. This is the name of the company. I'm going to click on submit. So the moment this has been submitted, what should happen? Automatically this event should be created in the calendar. Let's go to calendar, and here you can see that on 5th of March this particular event has been created, which basically means that our integration process is a complete success. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So here our trigger application was Typeform, where the event was new entry, and our action application was Microsoft Office 365, where the event was create event in calendar. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create Zendesk tickets from new Typeform entries. Now suppose that you fill up a form to raise a query about or a problem, and Zendesk is a CRM application where you can raise a ticket for that. But every time you fill up a form, it's not necessary that in Zendesk a ticket is raised for your problem. It cannot take place automatically because both of these applications do not have a direct connection between them. But what if I tell you we can automate this process of creating a ticket from a form submission with the help of Pabbly Connect? We will learn to create an integration where our trigger will be a new form submitted in our Typeform application and our action will be to create a ticket in our Zendesk application. Let us learn how to do it.
So in this video, let us learn how to create an automation where you can create a Zendesk ticket by any form submission in your Typeform, which is a form builder application. Here you can see this is my Typeform and I have created several forms over here. I'm going to use this form whose name is requests, and then I've opened this form over here. When I will be connecting my Typeform and Pabbly, then I will be filling up this form and then we will take the information whatever is filled in the form to generate a ticket in our Zendesk. Okay, so we will be doing this with the help of Pabbly. This is the landing page of Pabbly, and on the right hand side you can see there are two options available for you: sign up for free and sign in. If you don't have an existing account, you have to click on sign up for free, but I'm having one, so I will click on sign in, which will take me to this page where I can see the applications provided by Pabbly. Today we are going to connect to applications Typeform and Zendesk, so we will be using Pabbly Connect for that purpose. Click on access now and then you will be forwarded to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Reaching here, you can see a big blue button on the right hand side which is written create workflow. Click on the button and give a suitable name to your workflow. I will name it as create Zendesk tickets from Typeform submission. Click on create and then a blank workflow will be created for you. In this workflow, you can see there are two boxes. One has trigger written over it and the other has action. Now, what is this trigger and action about? Trigger is when this happens, which means that whenever this event takes place in your chosen application over here, then action will be performed, whichever action will be chosen here in your action application. For today's workflow, our trigger application is Typeform because the Zendesk ticket will be created only with the information that we will be receiving from our Typeform submission. So we will choose our application at Typeform and the trigger event is going to be new entry, which means every time there is a new entry in this form that we have created, there will be a trigger and then that application or that information will be forwarded to Zendesk. So click on create, click on add new connection, connect with Typeform, and then just give access to your account by clicking on accept. And the connection will be established, and see here the form name is already here. If you want to use any other form like the Pipedrive deals, my form, special request or anything, you can click on the drop down menu and you will have all the options that are available in your Typeform account. But as we are going to use request form only, so we will be choosing that and then click on save and send test request. But remember, when you click on this button, you have to fill up this form only after you click on save and send test request, because when you click on this button, you will go there and it will start capturing or waiting for response to be captured. So see, when you will click on it, it will start waiting. It's waiting for response. So let us go and fill up this form. So let us suppose that you are filling up this form for some kind of a problem or some kind of query that you want to share and you want it to get resolved. Like you are having internet issues with some broadband connection. So just enter your name. Then you have to describe your request over here. My broadband connection is not working nicely. And then you can enter the broadband connection number as well. So my line number is, okay, and full stop. So this is your query. You have to enter your email address over here. So I will just enter it. And then your zip code, so that whosoever person should reach to your place to look for the problem, whatever problem is there in your broadband connection. So you can enter your zip code and click on submit. So you have submitted this form. Now you go back to Pabbly Connect and see the responses here. First of all, the name of the form is here. Then zip code, email address, describe your request, all the questions and the name. Okay. So then we have all the responses over here. This is the zip code. This is the email address. You can drag it to see the whole request. This is the one we raised a query about and the name of the person, which means that we have received complete response from the Typeform entry. Okay, now we will move forward to our Zendesk. So our action application will be Zendesk, and the action event is going to be create a ticket. Now, ticket is usually associated with some query. When a ticket is raised, which means that people whosoever are associated with that issue will look after it as soon as possible. So click on connect, add new connection, and then you have to enter the username and your password. So I will be entering my username right here. This is my username and I will enter the password as well. This is the password. Now I have to enter the subdomain. This is something that is important for you to understand, that what is a subdomain. So the subdomain of your Zendesk will be different from what is mine. So when we go back to our Zendesk account, you can see over here, everything that is after the slash and then everything which comes before the dot is your subdomain, which is more, we can say, like an identity of your URL, and paste it over here. For your example or your understanding, it's given over here also, like Pabbly help is the subdomain from this URL. So everything that comes after this slash and before this dot is your subdomain. So we have entered the same. Now click on save, and then your accounts will be connected soon. See, now the same button which said connect, now it's connected. So now our Zendesk and Pabbly Connect are connected. Now we have to enter the details which are basically required to create a ticket generally in our Zendesk account. See, when you go back to Zendesk and on this button you go add, and then you add a ticket. If you choose you want to add a ticket, then they will ask you certain details over here. How can you create a ticket? In the same way, you have to create a ticket here. So every time you don't have to fill in the details again and again. You get an entry or a submission from your Typeform entry, and then that details will be automatically filled in these fields. You don't have to do that manually every time. But how are they going to be filled in exact and correct destinations? That will happen with the help of mapping. We will learn what is mapping. Mapping is actually creating a pathway or creating a road between both these applications. Okay, both these steps are over here. This is our trigger application and this is our action application. So we are fetching the information from the trigger application and then we are transferring it further to our action application. But it will be helpful for us. How? When you click on this empty field, it asks you to insert data from the previous step. And how are you going to put it from the previous step? By clicking on this drop down menu. When you click on this button, it will give you the whole list of response that you needed. So like the subject is request, or then the assignee who is assigning the task. So it will be the name of the person who is using the Zendesk account. Now the requester's name, requester's email. See, first of all, there are a number of fields. In different applications, you will find different types of fields also. Some are here, some are not here. But make sure that you fill the required ones, that is a must. And the others which are not required can be filled based on your necessity of your task. If you don't need it, don't fill it. But if it is required, then that is a necessity to be filled. Then you click on this requester name, who is requesting this. Like this was the name, so you can choose the name from here. Then requester's email address. So we will enter the email address like this. Now what is the description? What is their issue? So you can just scroll down and find the issue. It was somewhere here only. My broadband connection. This is the whole issue that you want to describe. And then anything else, the status is new, pending, open. So you can just write open. Is there any due date? There is no due date given to it. Priority, you can set it yourself, high or urgent. Okay, and anything else? So we also entered the zip code over here. So we can add it inside the description only. But for that, remember, you have to put a opposite slash and then n. By this, you are actually, whatever you're going to write after n will come under in the next line. Okay, so write pin code, colon, and give a space and then map the pin code from here only. Okay, you can map it. So every time a new person enters or fills the form, his query will be here, and then under that it will be written as pin code, colon, and then the pin code of that specific person. Is any required field left anymore? No. So you just click on save and send test request and see the response is here. Whenever a response is received, first of all, you can just to look for any error over here. Is there any error? No, there is no error, which means that our workflow has worked successfully till now. So we'll come down to click on save so that our work is saved till here. Then we'll go back to Zendesk, refresh it, and then when you see a new ticket has been created. Request is the name, it's open. The requester, when it is less than a minute ago, the problem, the priority, and if you open it up, clicking on it, you will see the description over here. Okay, so if you want to reply to that, and then they will show the email address of the person as well. So you can reply to that person by typing over here. So which means that our workflow went successfully well. Let us do a quick recap of what we did in this workflow. Our trigger application was Typeform. We created a form already. We filled the form and then received the entry as a response over here. Chose the correct form so that you don't worry about the response. Then you further transferred the information to your Zendesk, that is your action application, connected the account using the username, password and the subdomain of your Zendesk account. Then you mapped the correct details in the correct fields and then clicked on save and send test request. Again, a response was received without any error and a new ticket was created. So this was the whole workflow. I hope this helped.
In this video, we are going to see how to create Nifty task for new Typeform responses. So every time a new response is received through this form builder application, here we have taken the example of Typeform. Then with the data received, you want to create a task in Nifty, which is a project management software. Now, how can that be done? For this, you will have to set up some integration between the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here your trigger application would be Typeform and your action application would be Nifty. Now, how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply click on sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab, sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes. And also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in as I'm an existing user here. And here we have reached all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. Here we have reached the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side, you can see a tab create workflow. Let's click on this and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now here my objective is that every time a new Typeform response is received, then with the information you need to create a task on Nifty. So I'm going to click on create. And as I do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically, action here is the response of your trigger application. Now, as per this integration, my trigger application would be Typeform. Let's click on this. And the triggered event here would be new entry. Let's click on connect. Here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with a Typeform account. I'm going to click on add new connection, connect with Typeform. And here it is asking me to confirm my account. So I'm going to just accept all the things. And here we can see that the authorization has been successful. Now here, let me take you to my Typeform account. So I have created two forms. This is the form that I'm talking about. This is the task form. And now you can see that these are the various fields that I have created here. Task name, task description, then we have due date and start date. So Pabbly Connect has already taken this form. So this particular form. So as I click on save and send, here it is asking me to do a test submission so that the response can be captured here. So to capture the response, now I'm going to take you to Typeform. And here I'm going to publish this. As I do that, you can see that I have received the link. I'm going to copy this, open this in a new tab. And as I do that, here the form will appear right in front. Okay, so what is the task name? Let's say it is appraisal. Okay, this is the appraisal form. And now what is the task description? So appraisal percentage to be discussed. Okay, then we have the due date. So what is the due date? It is February, let's say it is 17th and 2023. Okay, then we have the start date, which is February 16th, 2023. Okay, so as I submit this form, what should happen? Automatically a response should be received in Pabbly Connect. And yes, here you can see that we have received the response. So this here is the response: submitted at, landed at. Then we have the name of the form, which is task form. Then here we have the start date. Then we have the due date. So here you can see this, these are the dates. And then here this is the description. Then this here is the appraisal form. So this is the name of the form. So once we have received this information, now with this information I want to create a task in Nifty. So my action application here would be Nifty. Let's click on this. The action event here would be create task. Let's click on connect. Here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with Nifty PM account. I'm going to click on add new connection, connect with Nifty PM. So as I do that, here it is asking me to provide the access. I'm going to click on allow. And as I do that, our authorization has been successful. Now here we are supposed to map this information: the task name, description, project ID, task group ID, etc. What is mapping? Mapping means as I click on this, so here you can see the previous step. As I click on this, this was the response that we had received. And what is the task name? So the task name here is, as I look for appraisal, this here is the task name. Now what is the task description? So again, as I click on this and I write appraisal, so you can see this here is the description. Now this process is known as mapping. Why is it important? So that every time the workflow runs, it can take the new data into consideration and is not stuck with the manually written data. Now here we have the project ID, task group ID. To understand this, I'm going to first take you to my Nifty account. So this here is my Nifty account. You can see that there is a project that I have created. The name is PB Pro. As I take you to this project, here you can see these are the members. And then again, let's go to task and you can see that a list has been created. The name is to do. So here we are going to map this. So for the project ID, PB Pro, then task group ID, to do. Since there was only one, so it has already been captured by the system. Now comes the milestone ID. So if you want to map the same, you can mention it here. Then we have the start date. So here we can see that we have to mention the start date and the due date in a different format over here. So first I have to use a feature by Pabbly, which is date time formatter. So here I'm going to add an action step, and to change the format I'm going to use this feature date time formatter, and the action event here would be format date with time zone. Let's click on connect. So here first of all I'm going to map the date, which is the start date. So as I go down here, this is the start date. And then the from format here would be, this is year, month and date. So year, month and date is this format. Now the to format here would be this. So the from time zone is UTC and the to time zone is also UTC. Okay. Now UTC is basically Indian Standard Time plus 5.5 hours. So this is the UTC time that we have received. Now I'm going to repeat this step for the due date. So again, let's look for date time formatter. Here it is. And the action event, format date with time zone. Let's click on connect. So let's map the date. So let's go down and here we have to look for the due date. Here it is. Then the from format would be year, month and date. The from format here would be year, month and date. The to format here would be this. Now the from time zone is again UTC and the to time zone is also UTC. I'm going to click on save and send test request, and yes, here we have received a response. Now let's go down to Nifty. I'm going to refresh this connection by selecting the existing connection, and then we have to map the start date. For this, I'm going to go to step 2. This is the start date. For due date, let's go to step 3. This here is the due date. Then comes the banner. So if you want to enter the banner, you can add the URL here. And here we have to add the assignees, basically the member. To do this, we have to add an action step here. The application would be same Nifty and the event would be get invitee. So let's do the same. Here I'm going to add action step. The application is Nifty. Let's click on this. And the action event here would be to get invitee. Let's click on connect. So I'm going to go ahead with the existing connection. And as I click on save and send test request, so I would receive the response of all the members that are associated with the project. So like dummy demo here, again dummy demo, then we have demo Sami, then we have Ashmita Mandal. So let's say that I wish to add dummy demo here. So we have to map the member ID. So this here is the member ID. So I am going to go down. First I'm going to refresh this connection quickly. Okay. So once done, let's go down, go here, go to step 4. And this here is the member ID of dummy demo. Now if you add more members, if you wish to add more members, you can just put a comma and add another ID over here. I'm going to click on save and send test request. And as I do that, here you can see that task has been successfully created. So now I'm going to take you to Nifty. Okay, and let's quickly check. Yes, you can see there is a task created. The name is appraisal. This here is the due date. And then here we have the assignees, which basically means that our integration is a success. But we also need to check the same in real time. So I'm going to take you back to Typeform, copy this link once again, open this in a new tab here and fill up this form once again. So let's say this time the task name is team meeting. Okay, then we have the task description meeting on team outing. Okay, then we have the due date. So let's say the due date here is February 15th and the year is 2023. And what is the start date? The start date is again the same, which is 15th of February 2023. Okay, as soon as I submit, what should happen? Automatically this task should be created in Nifty. So let's go to Nifty and I'm going to close this, and yes, here you can see that another task has been created. So this basically means that our integration process is a complete success. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So here our trigger application is Typeform, where the event is new entry. Then our action application here is Nifty PM, where we have created a task. Now here to format the date, we have chosen a feature by Pabbly, which is date time formatter. And to get the attendees ID, we had chosen our action application as Nifty once again, and the event was get invitee. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, you will learn how you can create new events in Microsoft Outlook calendar automatically when you receive a form submission from Typeform application. So guys, if you are using a calendar to track all the important events related to your work, and guys, you are working in a team and your team also sends you the details about the events that are going to happen in coming days, and you want to add those events in the calendar and you have to do it manually. So I have a better option for you. Here you just have to create a form and share with all your team members, and they can fill that form, and as they fill the form, the event will be created automatically inside your calendar and you can see the upcoming events directly from your calendar. You do not have to give the access to your calendar to anyone, and you do not have to manually add the events as well. So it will save a huge amount of your time and it will streamline your working as well. And guys, you can set up this automation with just few clicks without any coding. So let's begin. To set up this automation, we are using Pabbly Connect, which is an automation tool, and this is the landing page of Pabbly. And I'm going to paste the link of this page in the description, and from here you can sign up for free and you will get free automation tasks every month to test and set up your automations. So you can just sign up right now from the given link, and after that you just have to sign in and select the Pabbly Connect product, and you will see the dashboard of Pabbly Connect like this. From here guys, click on this create workflow button. Here you can enter a suitable name to your workflow as well. So I'm giving the name here as Typeform entries to Microsoft calendar or Outlook calendar. Okay, so after giving the name like this, you can just click on create button and you can see your workflow page started loading up here. And on this page, guys, you will find these two modules, the trigger and the action. So with the help of these two things, you can set up any automation. So guys, here in the trigger, we are going to connect with our form application, which is Typeform. So search for Typeform here. All right, after selecting the application, select the trigger event as new entry and then click on connect button. From this window, select add new connection, then click on connect with Typeform. And from here, you have to provide the access to your Typeform application. So from here, you have to click on accept and you will be connected with Typeform. All right, you can see the authorization successful and we are connected, and here it is asking for the form's name. So this is the form I am using for creating events, and the name of the form is event creation form. You can see this is the form actually. Okay, name is here, event creation form. So I'm going to select this form's name from this list. These are all my forms, so I'm selecting the relevant form. After selecting the form, click on save and send test request button, and it will start showing waiting for the response. This means now we have to perform a test submission. Test submission means we are now going to fill this form manually, and the data of that submission will be captured here in this response section, and with the help of that data we are going to move forward in this automation. So here is my form. Here it is asking for the event's name, so let the event's name is general meeting. Okay, and click on OK. Description, this is our general meeting. All right, and here you can give a date. So I'm giving the date as, sorry, the month is 2nd, the date is 18, the year is this. Okay, this is the event's date. Here you have to provide the event's timing. So this is the starting time of the event. You have to provide in this format, as you can see in the example. You have to keep this format as it is. I'll tell you why. Okay, after that, click on submit button and you can see the form is submitted. Okay, let me show you now in the workflow if we got the data, and here we have received the submissions data, and when you scroll down here you will find the details of the form submission here like this. You can see in this text label we have the title of the meeting, and here is the description of the meeting, the date of the meeting, the time of the meeting. Everything is here. Now with the help of this, we want to create a event in Microsoft Calendar or Microsoft Outlook Calendar. But in Microsoft Outlook Calendar, here you can see whenever you create a new event here, it asks for the start time and the end time of the event as well, and the duration of the event. Okay, so let's say we are creating events for half an hour of duration, 30 minutes of duration. So here we have the time, the starting time. So in this time I am going to add 30 minutes to get the end time. Okay, right. For this we are going to use this action step, and here we are going to use a feature of Pabbly Connect which is called date time formatter. Search for date time formatter here. Then select action event as format date with time zone. Okay, then click on connect button. Actually, we have to select a different action event here which is called add/subtract time, so that we can add or subtract some time in the given time. Okay, after that click on connect button. Then it will ask to enter the date. So here guys, you have to enter the date in ISO format, which is this format, YY, MM, DD, and a T in between, hours, minutes, and seconds. So here guys, we have two different labels in which we have the date and the time. So you have to map both of the labels here, okay, in this field to add the timings. Okay, so according to the given example, just click here and the previous step will appear here in the drop down, and when you click on it you will find all the data here only. So from here, map the date like this first, okay, like this. Then you have to put a capital T in between, then click here on the Typeform entry again, and now map the date, sorry, now map the time. Okay, Here you can see we have matched the format. Okay, here you have to enter the expressions, and here you can see in the instruction, this is how you can put the expressions to add or subtract any date, days, hours or minutes in the time. So I want to add 30 minutes, so I'm going to put the expression here as plus 30 minutes. Okay, that's how you can put the expressions, right? And here it is asking to which format you want to change this date. So I want to keep the format as it is, as we have mentioned here, the standard format. So I'm going to select the standard format here, which is this YYMMDD, a T in between, then hours, minutes and seconds. Okay, and here it is asking from which format you have got the date. So I've got the date in the same format, which is this, right? Okay, now click on save and send test request button, and you will get the time added like this. You can see it has started showing 10:30. Previously the time was 10 o'clock. Now it is become 10:30. Right. Now let's click on this plus icon to open another action step, and let's connect with Outlook calendar to create an event there. So I'm going to search for Microsoft 365. Here it is, Office. And here we have the action event, which is called create event in calendar. So select this. After that, click on connect button. From here, select add new connection, then click on connect with Office 365. Then you have to provide the access to your Office 365 account from this page. So you have to scroll down here and click on yes. All right, so you can see the authorization is successful and we are now connected. All right, and here it is asking for the calendar's name. So the name of my calendar is calendar only. So I'm going to select calendar name as calendar. Here it is asking for the subject of the event. So let's map the subject from Typeform entries. So in the subject, I'm going to map this title of the meeting as event as general meeting. Content type is plain. In the content, I'm going to map the description of the event. So you will find the event description like this in this text label, map it. Here it is asking for the start date, and you have to map the start date in this format. YYMMDD and a T in between, then hours, minutes and seconds. So here we have the start date, guys. You can see already in the Typeform entry. So I'm going to map that here. Let me map it. Sorry, where is start date? From the Typeform. First of all, map the date. Here is the date. Then put a capital T. Okay. To match the format. Then map the time. Alright, you can see that format is matching here. Select the time zone as Asia, Kolkata. Okay, UTC plus 5:30 is Indian Standard Time Zone. You have to enter yours. You can select it from the list. In the end date, guys, we are going to use this second step where we have added 30 minutes to this event's time. Okay, so this will become the end date. Okay, this will become the end date. But guys, here you can see in this end date, the format is not matching here. The format is this. There should not be this plus sign and these two zeros according to the format. So we need to remove this plus sign and these zeros. For that to happen, what I'm going to do here, just click here on this plus icon in between the steps so that another action step will open up. And here, search for text formatter feature. So this is another feature of Pabbly Connect. And here I'm going to use an action event which is called split text. Select split text option, then click on connect. Then it will ask which text you want to split. So I want to remove this plus sign in the extra zeros from this date and time label. So just map this thing here. Just click here and from the second step map this label. And here it is asking for the separator. So the separator would be this plus sign so that these things should be removed. Okay. So put plus sign here as the separator. And here it is asking which part of the segment, which part of this string you want to fetch out. So I want this first part only till this zeros, and I want to remove this second part. So I'm going to use the segment indexed as first part, then click on save and send test request button, and you will get this kind of date and time, which is the exact same format that we needed here. Okay, Now we can map it. But here we need to refresh the connection because it is not showing the previous steps right now. So just click here on this connected button one more time. And from here, keep this existing connection selected. Then click on save one more time and your connection with Microsoft 365 will be refreshed. All right, then after refreshing, when you click here on this end date field, the previous steps will appear, and from this last step, map this date like this. Then select the time zone again as UTC plus 5:30. Just type Kolkata here and it will be selected. Okay, and here it is asking enter the number of minutes before the start of the event to send the reminder. So Outlook 365 send the reminders. So here I am going to provide the reminder. I want to send the reminders, let's say 1 hour before. So I'm going to put 60 minutes, 60. Okay. The importance of the event is normal. Sensitivity is personal. You can select all these things. And if you have all this data also, you can fill in if you have the details. Right now I'm leaving these things blank. I'm just filling the required things. Now you can click on save and send test request button to check your connection with your calendar, and a new event will be created right here in front of you. Let me show you that. I'm clicking on save and send test request button. All right, this is the response we got here. Let's check in our calendar if we got a new event added, and here you can see at 18th we have a general meeting added, and when you open it you can see the timing 10 to 10:30 and the descriptions. This is how it is going to work. We are done setting up this automation. It is working completely fine, and you have to set up it only once. After that, you don't have to do anything manually in your calendar. You just have to share your form with the people who can create events, and as they are going to submit the form, you can see your events here right here on this calendar like this automatically. And the workflow is going to run in the background. You do not even have to look the workflow as well. And you can use this workflow also, as I'm going to paste the link of the same workflow in the description. You can clone it in your own free Pabbly Connect account and start using this automation instantly.
Hello friends, today we are going to learn how to add new Typeform entries to Pipedrive as deals. Now Typeform is a form builder application and Pipedrive is a customer relationship management software. Now we will be integrating both these applications in such a manner that Typeform will be our trigger application and Pipedrive will be our action application. For example, whenever a new entry is received in Typeform, a new deal will be created in Pipedrive. This way, you can actually create a deal in your Pipedrive account without sharing their credentials. We will be doing this using an automation software, that is Pabbly Connect. Let us learn how to do it.
So in today's video, we will learn how to add new Typeform entries to Pipedrive as deals. We will be integrating Typeform and Pipedrive in such a way where Typeform will be our trigger application and Pipedrive is going to be our action application. And this integration will be done using an automation software, Pabbly. So as you can see, this is the landing page of Pabbly, and on the right top corner, you can see two options, sign up for free and sign in. If you don't have an existing account, you have to click on sign up for free, and because I have an existing account, I will click on sign in. It will take me to the login page of Pabbly where I can directly sign in with Google. As soon as I click on sign in, it will take me to this window where I can find all the applications that Pabbly provides. For integration today, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's just click on Access Now, and then I will be forwarded to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. On the right hand side again, you can see a blue button called Create Workflow. You have to click on that button because we are going to create a new workflow from scratch. So first thing that you have to give a name to the workflow. As we are using the two applications, Typeform to Pipedrive today. So I'm going to name this workflow the same. You can give any other name as per your comfort. Click on create, and then two boxes will come in front of you, one with the name trigger and the other with action. Now what is an action and what is a trigger? A trigger is when this happens, which means you will add a trigger application over here. And why is it called a trigger application? Because the application will have an event which will be called trigger, and as that trigger happens, the action application will be affected in the same way. For example, today our trigger application is Typeform, and then it will ask you to enter a trigger event, that is new entry. Why? Because the trigger is new entry. As soon as a new entry is received by Typeform, the action will be creating a new deal in Pipedrive. So let's just connect our Typeform account to Pabbly Connect. Click on Connect and make sure that you have your Typeform account open in another tab. That will make it easier for Pabbly Connect to detect your account right away. Add new connection and then connect with Typeform. It will automatically detect and just ask for access. So click on accept and soon the authorization will be done. So it's connected now. As you can see, the name of the form is Pipedrive. Why? Because this is my Typeform account and you can see that there are two forms I've created. The form that I want to work on is Pipedrive deals, and that's what Pabbly Connect has detected. So I have opened this form in another tab in order to fill the form, and that detail, whatever details I'm going to fill in that form, will be captured by Pabbly Connect over here, right? So let's just click on save and send test request and go to enter the form. Because it's a demo, I'm using the name demo user, the email address as the name of the organization, and then the value of a deal. Because this is a demo form, then I'm just going to enter any random value. So we have filled the form and let's just wait for this response being captured by Pabbly Connect. So as you can see, in no time the response is received. The name, the number, the value, the name of the organization, the email address that we entered, and the name of the person whosoever will be filling the form. So like the response have been received, let us proceed to the next step, that is creating a person ID in Pipedrive. Let me tell you, this is a very important aspect of creating this workflow, that it's very simple that our trigger application was Typeform and our action application was Pipedrive. That is true, but before creating a deal in Pipedrive, in your Pipedrive account, you have to first create a person, because that is how your Pipedrive deal will be connected to that specific person. So our action application is Pipedrive only, but we are going to use this application 2 times with 2 different events. Click on action and then first create a person. Because until and unless there is an ID made of that person, Pipedrive won't accept a deal. Now click on connect and connect your Pipedrive account to your Pabbly Connect. But again, I need to remind you that you should have a Pipedrive account already and log in into it. Then you go back to Pabbly Connect, click on add new connection. Now it will ask you for an API token. So just read what's written down here, that after logging in into your Pipedrive account, go to settings, personal preferences, and that will take you to the API. So just go to the settings on the right top corner. Personal preferences is the first option and the third one is API. Now click on generate a new token. Why generating a new token when already one is present? Because you might not remember for what purpose you used the last token. In order to avoid any glitch, just generate a new token, copy this and go back to Pabbly Connect to paste it over here. Click on save and your Pipedrive account will be connected to your Pabbly Connect. Now because we are creating a person, it will ask you some basic details of the person whosoever is filling the form. Now it is a very important step of the workflow that you have to do mapping of the information. What is mapping? Mapping is, this is the response we received from Typeform and the response was captured by Pabbly Connect. Now, the purpose of this whole workflow is to transfer this information of Typeform directly to Pipedrive without any intermediator. Okay, so the intermediator basically is Pabbly Connect. So we have to give this information the right pathway that will take it to the correct place in Pipedrive in order to create a deal. So when you click on this blank box, it will ask you to insert data from the previous step. And why is that? Because you already have the response. So do not enter the data by your own, but remember to map it through this drop down menu. So as soon as you click on this, it will provide you the whole list of responses, the same you received from Typeform. All right. So let's just scroll, or you can straight away enter. So it's here, demo user. Don't enter the detail manually. Remember to map it. Click on this, and this was the name. Now you don't need to enter first name and last name separately because that's not what you did in your Typeform, but it will detect the first and last name on its own. There was no phone number, but there was an email. So the email was this, and these are the only details you need to enter. In order to create a person's ID, what do you need? You just need a name and the email address. That's enough for now. Click on Save and Send Test Request and wait for the response. You can see the response is received. The name was demo user. See, it itself detected demo, the first name, and the user is last name. You go down, and here the email address is also present. One important thing was the data ID that we received. This data ID will be very helpful in connecting Typeform and Pipedrive. So you did this. So just remember to click on save in order to save your workflow till now. Then you can see a plus sign in the middle. You have to click this to add another step to this workflow. Now comes the final step, that is creating a deal in Pipedrive. So you again choose the application as Pipedrive, and now the action event will be to create a deal. This is the final step. Click on connect, because again you have to connect your Pipedrive account to Pabbly Connect. But remember, you've already connected your Pabbly Connect and Pipedrive account. You can click on select existing connection, and this is your prior connection. So you just click on save, and then it will automatically connect to your Pipedrive account. Now you have to fill in the details in the same manner, that is through mapping. Okay, but now that you have two steps, so like we click on the title, two options are coming over here because there were two steps, inserting data from previous steps. So we had two steps before this, the Typeform entry also, and the Pipedrive creating a person step as well. So the title was from the Typeform entry only. The name, like you can see right here, definition title, click on that. Creation date is not very necessary, but because it is present over here, you can enter. You did not enter it manually, but at the time of submitting the Typeform, it was recorded automatically. So if you want, you can click on this. Then comes the person ID. Person ID was retrieved from the create a person step, and the data ID is going to be your personal ID only. The value was entered at which step? Typeform entry form. So the value of the deal was, we entered 50. Okay, so I guess all the information that we filled in our form has been recorded in order to create a deal in your Pipedrive account. This is done. So let's just click on save and send test request and wait for the response. Successfully, the response have been received. The first word is success, which proves that our workflow has been created successfully without any hurdle. See, the creator's name is there, and if you scroll down, the person whoever is filling the form, his name, the email address, the data ID, the name of the form, the title, and the value. The date is also present over here. So this completes the whole workflow. Click on save, and let's just verify. Go to your Pipedrive account and then click on deals, And here you can see the last deal that has been created is the name Pipedrive Deals. Demo user was the name that we just used, and this is the email address we entered. So this is the whole deal that has been created, not manually, but through Pabbly Connect. And every time a person fills this form of the name Pipedrive Deals will be entered over here, and a new deal will be created in such a manner only. Let us just try to fill another form and check if this workflow works in a successful way or not. Remember to save your workflow, go back to the form, and let's just enter a new name. Let us just call it with this name this time. The email will be this. The name of the organization will be the same. And the value of the deal, let's keep it 500 this time, and submit. This has been submitted. Let us go back to Pipedrive and let's check. See, this is the Pipedrive deal, the last created. Click on this and see. The name of the person is Ashirai, the email address is here, and all the details have been collected over here. So this proves that our workflow works successfully. So let us do a little recap of what we did. Let me just close all the tabs to make it easier for you to understand. So this was the whole workflow in 3 steps. The first was the trigger application, that was Typeform. So you gave the event as new entry. Like anybody who submitted a new form in Typeform will be forwarded to Pipedrive for creating a new deal. But before creating a deal, Pipedrive is supposed to have a person of that same ID. So our next step is going to be to create a person in Pipedrive. Then you created a person in Pipedrive. In this manner, you mapped the name and the email address of that specific person. Clicked on save and send test request, and then this response was received, with the important part being the data ID or the person ID. Then came the last step, that was the action step of creating a deal. The event was to create a deal. As soon as a person ID is created, this form comes and you have to map the details using the prior 2 steps, that was the Typeform entry and the Pipedrive creating a person. You mapped all the important information, clicked on save and send test request. This response was received and therefore the work was done. Do not forget to save the workflow. This was the whole video. I hope this helped.
Not just these applications, but you can integrate many other applications using Pabbly Connect. If you have any issue regarding Pabbly, you can email us at support@pabbly.com. You can ask your queries at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any doubts regarding our pricing, then you can connect us through this given website. If you found this video helpful in any way, then make sure to share this with your friends and colleagues to make their life easier by creating automations. We will meet in the next video. Till then, do not forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.